Greetings and welcome to Flesh Wound Horror. I'm Flesh Wound Dan, joined by producer Todd.
Good
Showing
evening.
off the box for tonight. We are going to be covering the Shoestring Slashers Volume 1 collection from TerrorVision. And yes, very nice looking box there, Tad. Yeah, I'm very eager tonight because I think it's safe to say we've got three very distinct slashers. They're all totally different from each other, which is a good thing. And different eras, different feels. So I think it'll be a good show. I like this concept a lot. And obviously others did as well because this box is currently sold out. So apparently they're not selling these separate. They made a big point of that. But I don't know if there's going to be a non-special edition coming at some point, perhaps, with just the discs. So we shall see. But safe to say, you may want to jump on these quick because that was a very fast sellout for TerrorVision. So we'll kick it off with our first film of the evening. We'll go oldest to newest, and we'll kick it off with the 1980 excuse me, the 1988 film from director William Szarka, Phantom Brother. And in this film, 5 years ago, a fiery car wreck wipes out the Evans family, leaving a sole survivor, young Abel. Now Abel's dead brother is returned, and he's cutting into Abel's high school fun by killing his friends, among other things. Will Abel turn his brother over to the police? Will Abel's brother get the girl? This slasher film is a must-see for anyone who likes to be scared silly. If you have relatives, it can happen to you. All right, so Phantom Brother, this is a movie that I had on VHS back in the day. It ended up becoming a very rare VHS. I think even to this day, this one goes for, I think I've seen it as high as a few $100s. It's one of those ones, unfortunately, that when I liquidated, I should have anticipated how valuable these actually would be. But I remember grabbing this. I want to say from a collector, I want to say in Denver way back in the day that just sold off a bunch of his stuff. And I managed to get the tape. And it's unique. I mean, it's an SOV slasher. This one, though, is very much like comedy. This leans hard when it comes to the comedy. And Todd, I have to ask, did you see this one before? Or was this a first time watch? Because I know this movie is pretty obscure.
No, these are all first times for me.
Okay. Well, that's awesome, man. You got to check them all out for the first time. I'm curious to get your take. But the director, oddly enough, he does have a trauma connection, but he made a movie called South Bronx Heroes with Mario Van Peebles, which that movie may sound familiar to you simply because it was a discount bin staple for years. He did that before, and that movie, I think even to this day still pops up on some like cheap sets. But he also did the trauma film Plutonium Baby, which unfortunately he did not have a great time on that one. I mean, it was a pickup, but there's a whole story on one of the commentary tracks about that incident. He did another horror movie in 2009 that I don't think I saw called Muttnik. But yeah, this was, again, very rare VHS SOV slasher comedy. It's a New York regional horror film, and it's got that tone. It's actually kind of funny because the character Abel, his family, after they die, he gets adopted by this redneck family, the Hickmans, and it's kind of funny watching New Yorkers pretend to be rednecks. There's just something about that that's kind of amusing to me. Um, but I'd say a lot of the humor kind of hit in this one for me. I can see this one not working for everybody because, again, comedy is subjective. But uh, considering when this was made before the heavy controversy, there's a line at the beginning where this mullet dude is kind of being a bit of a dick, and two friends are talking, and it's like Richie Richie said the rumors are true about this place being haunted, and he's like, but Richie also started the rumor that Michael Jackson is straight. So there was some funny lines in here that become ironic later on. I thought the killers uh, were interesting. I mean, we get the ghost Girl Scout, we get the fat lady. I liked that angle on this. This is a distinct movie. There's nothing quite like this that I can compare it to. Um, you know, not the goriest slasher. I can see a lot of people perhaps just looking at this as just a comedy and not enough slasher elements, but I had a pretty good time. John Gigante, he was the star of this film, and he worked as Ben Stiller's stand-in for a good dozen movies, and there's actually a lot of Ben Stiller stories on the special features. Um, and I thought he was good. Um, this is going to be a 50-50 one, whether the humor connects with you. There's a little bit of gore. There's a buzzsaw at one point that cuts somebody's legs off, and uh, some really random moments. Sometimes the comedy hits, sometimes it doesn't, but it kind of put a smile on my face. I had fun. Uh, and I like that the phantom brother of the title, just his whole thing is just like, I like big ninnies. He's like just boob obsessed, and I thought that was kind of funny. Um, I like big ninnies. It's just kind of a running joke. Todd, as somebody who likes big ninnies, what was your thoughts on this movie?
I really enjoyed the extra features.
Yeah, I figured this one wouldn't hit for you. I just had a
Yeah.
vibe. I was like, I don't think this is going to be quite the top.
Yeah, the humor, the East Coast, yeah, it didn't click with me at all. I was not a fan of this one. Honestly, I don't like Plutonium Baby either. So
But it's funny you say East Coast, but you love like Maniac. You love a lot of East Coast shit. So it's not. Is it just the humor or something about that doesn't hit for you?
yeah, it must be. Joe
Okay.
Spinell's worldwide, so it doesn't matter.
But he is a New
I
York.
know he is.
You can't claim him.
No. But yeah, I just don't. I don't know.
I kind of liked some of the movie when they show up to shoot a movie at the house. I thought that was kind of funny. The vampires on Valium on Valentine's Day. I thought that was kind of funny and clever. And yeah, I mean, it's not like a bust a gut laughing kind of movie. But I thought there was some clever lines in here, and people were obviously having fun making it. I love the undead Girl Scout, or the ghost Girl Scout. I thought that was actually pretty funny. I would have liked more of the three ghosts together. Like, I think that was when the movie was at its most interesting, just their dynamic. And it's got a good script for an SOV. Actually, there's some twists and turns. It's a reasonably well made SOV film. It may or may not connect with you. Obviously, it hit me a little bit better than Todd, but watching it, Todd, I was kind of predicting. I was like, yeah, this is not gonna be a Todd film. If some stuff looks familiar, I believe it was Rob Koch's who plays the director of the horror movie being shot. It was his grandparents' house, and you may recognize it from also Frankenhooker.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a better horror comedy, quite honestly. But the special features are very much worth watching. There's a lot. I didn't really know anything about this movie. I've seen it before, but beyond that, yeah, they're very well put together special features and some good, like I said, just personal stories on all three of these films. I'd like to see a little more of that. It's interesting to see how, this was your life at this point that you made this. This is where you're at now. And we'll talk a little bit more about that on the other movies. But Todd, since you'll be lower and we'll end it on a high note, what do you give this one?
I'm gonna be nice. I'm gonna give it a 1.5.
Okay. That's actually a little higher than I suspect you were going to go.
I was being nice. It would have been a 1, but yeah.
I'm going to give this one a 3. I liked it. I definitely think it's above average. It's just gonna depend. I know for a lot of people the comedy's not going to connect. So, but check it out. I do think there's a lot of creativity in this one, and I enjoyed it quite a bit. All right, so that's Phantom Brother. We'll move on to our next film, which I'm really eager to talk about this one because some of these movies, obscure, you could kind of argue, but this one does not even have an IMDb.
Which gets confusing because the director, Jason Daly, has another movie called Beware.
He remade it, yes, in 2000.
Oh, so that is a remake. Okay, that was my next question.
It is a remake. Now, I'm not 100% sure if I saw it, so I'm not able to say, like, is it totally different? Is it just, more or less it's referred to as a remake, so
it's on Tubi, so I will probably we'll get to that later.
Yeah, we'll get to it. But yeah, the 2001 Jason Daly directed Beware is not on there. So this film, a weekend getaway, an unfamiliar town, the perfect combination for terror. For years, people of Shady Grove have told the story of a tortured and abandoned boy named Shane. Left to fend for himself by his father in the middle of nowhere, Shane had to grow up living off the woods and bloodshed. Shane now stalks the area of Shady Grove, seeking vengeance and killing anything in his path. 6 friends are taking a small break and will learn the legend of Shane and have to survive the night. So this one, it was kind of just self-distributed, I believe, by the director. It had an almost no release really to speak of, and it was considered a lost movie. It was shot on 8 millimeter. This one is a Florida shot regional slasher. Jupiter, in and around Jupiter, Florida, is where it was made, and no trained actors in this. Like, this was very much a just making a slasher movie with my buddies kind of film. And that, sometimes that works, sometimes it doesn't. In this case, I'm happy to say I like this one a lot. I had a lot of fun with this. And I don't know if part of that's to do with the fact that, I've kind of done this, nobody trained and you just go out and just make the movie anyways. But I mean, this one I would say is a little more polished than anything I ever did. But so we open this up with our killer, kind of an homage to Lucio Fulci, trying to shove this hunter's face towards this jagged tree branch, taking him out Fulci style, but then ramming a machete through the back of his head. Really, really cool gore. I wasn't sure what to expect with this one. The killer even caps it off by tearing a bunny rabbit in half, which was pretty crazy because the director still had the bunny rabbit prop. Not to worry, the bunny was safe. But so it kicks it off with a bang. Then we get, all of the different characters arriving, some of the banter, which for the most part all works really well. You never know when you're just casting your friends. Sometimes it can be very wooden and monotone. Even though they're not trained actors, I thought everybody came off as natural. I felt like I was just watching friends bullshitting, and it worked. Everybody was pretty likable, and he was lucky on this one because, again, I've seen it where it's like, oh boy, Chuck is awful in this, but everybody's good. And this one just had that sense of fun. It's kind of a meat and potatoes slasher, but we're 2001 here. There's not the shitty CG. We get practical kills, all of which look really good. I mean, we get a shish kebab kill with the rake. The comedy in between I thought was really funny. And I had a good time with this one. This one just flowed, just good, solid meat and potatoes slasher, and a hell of a fun finale too, with the shotgun. And they didn't have a lot of resources, but they used it well. And I'd say this one was a lot of fun. What did you think, Todd?
Well, not to be the stick in the mud.
Oh, really? Now this one I thought you would enjoy.
I'm not going to be, because I did love this one. I was
good. Okay.
Yeah, this thing's so 90s. We even got a big girl in a white shirt and overalls. I was like, okay, that's 90s. Like, this thing, it feels 90s, and like you already mentioned, the cast and it works. It is just let's put on a play, let's all get together and make it, but it works. All the effects are good, like the kills are good. It everything you want in a slasher. It comes together, and it has a 90s feel, and I think combining all that together, I really, really, really like this one. For me, I feel like this is a hidden gem in this set. And while I am interested to check out the remake, I don't think it's going to have the charm of this one, because it's not about the plot in this. It's about everything else.
I suspect the same. Like, I feel like you're going to watch the remake. It'll be a little more polished with, maybe professional actors. And I don't think it's going to be as good. I actually think I agree. I'm curious to check it out at some point. Maybe we'll just do a random review of it. But yeah, this just, and I'll talk a little bit about, I mean, we're not going through all the special features today or anything, but I'll talk a little bit about it, because I think it even adds to the enjoyment in this film's case. Particular, you mentioned, like, they felt like real people. There's there's some moments where I'm sure they were fighting the laughter, the whole like no exit only, or stay wet and juicy for me, which is funny because that actress you mentioned, I believe, was I want to say married to the director at one point. It might have been somebody else, but she was a wife. I mean, again, just using who you knew, and that worked out in this case. It really did. And I really don't even have anything in my notes where it's like, that effect didn't quite work. It's hard when you make like a slasher. You really got to think, what can I pull off? Especially nowadays, because you were wasting so much time with just the really bad CG blood spray. This is a good example of one to watch. It's like, you can do it practical. Just map it out, plan it out, and you can make it work, because there's some fun kills in here. And as I mentioned, this one was shot on 8mm, and watch those special features. There's a cast reunion. All of these people seemingly stayed friends. It's funny just watching their reaction to seeing this again, because again, this movie was more or less barely released. So they talk a little bit about the premiere, South Florida regional slasher, and there's a prop segment where he just goes through his old props, and he's got the bunny rabbit that got ripped in half, and that was a lot of fun. The remake apparently was shot around the same area, so I don't know, maybe it'll be a lot of fun too. I'll definitely check that out. But I highly recommend this one. I think this sort of alone makes the set for me. More movies like this, and you guys out there there's nothing in here that you can't pull off. Right. Which, again, more B movies like this, because they get it. Not really any nudity in this one though, but
we didn't mention there was some in the last one.
Yes, there were a big set of hooters in the last movie. But these aren't very nudity heavy slashers, actually, none of the ones on this set. But that doesn't always matter. I don't always need it. But do yourself a favor, watch the special features on this one, because I do think it adds to it. And you get like 3 commentaries, a making of. The gas station tour is interesting because it's the same guy who appears as kind of the redneck in that scene that owns it now, and his family has owned this gas station for almost a century. So just the history, the area they shot it in, really good and well put together extra features. I think TerraVision did a great job. So Todd, what do you rate this one? Because you almost broke my heart there. I was watching it. I was like, okay, Todd's having a ball.
I'm going to give this one a 4. I had a really good time with it. I mean, I honestly think there's room to grow in this one. Like, I will say this now, not to spoil anything coming up. If I was going to tell Kruger to watch one, it would be that one.
I think he would have had fun with this. The Phantom Brother, it would be a whole lot of like, fuck you guys, this movie's bullshit.
Yeah, I think I don't have a problem with recommending him. He might have some fun with Beware.
Yeah, I think I think he'd enjoy this one as well. I will also give this one 4. I think it deserves it, actually. I think this one is just fun. Put it on a party with your buddies, and you will have as good a time as they had making it.
All right, now we jump ahead another 11 years. So this box set spans quite a big frame of time.
It does, and I've talked to some people who got the set and like have kind of commented on that, like, oh, well, I'd wish they would just stick to 80s and 90s. I totally disagree. There's a lot of stuff from the 2000s that, maybe just, obviously you could see it at that point because it was on VOD, it was on Prime, it was, it wasn't impossible to see these movies, but there's still a lot that kind of slipped under the radar because there's just so much stuff coming out. So I hope they do jump around, honestly. Like,
I don't mind that. I just don't feel like this is that much of a shoestring compared to the others.
Yeah, you beat me to it. I was gonna say I don't feel like I would use the term shoestring for our next film, because
that's my only issue with it being in the set, where I would have preferred some, because there's plenty of Florida stuff that's filmed on a micro budget that I'd consider shoestring.
Yeah. I don't think you can call shoestring for me is, honestly, it was made for under 10 grand.
Yeah.
That's kind of like that area where I would call it a shoestring. And I mean, I know plenty of people who shoot stuff and they may not have $1,000 to do it. So yeah, I don't know if it would qualify as shoestring, but I'm still glad it's on the set.
Yeah, no, exactly. And we're talking about Basement Jack.
And this one is from director Michael Shelton, and I'll talk a little bit about the history, but before that, 11 years ago, Jack Riley went on a brutal killing spree, murdering 15 people, including his own mother. He was 17 years old. A re-examination of his case finds that Jack hadn't received a fair trial and he is set free. The uproar surrounding his release soon dies away, but one woman will not let it go. Karen Cook, the sole survivor of Jack's knife-wielding sadistic rampage, makes it her mission to hunt down the maniac before he kills again.
Damn Karens.
Then on one stormy night in the town of Downers Grove, the killer and the victim meet again, and the body count grows as they close in on each other for one final bloody confrontation. So this movie was actually a not sequel, but it is in the same universe as a film called Evolution, which was a zombie movie, hence not going to be on the Shoestring slasher set. But I kind of wonder if perhaps TerraVision has that. They don't. The director doesn't say that in the commentary, but seems to maybe hint that it might be. I guess we'll see. But the connecting thread is just the apartment complex. The hotel manager character, Nathan Bexton plays, is the thread. And apparently it was going to be a trilogy, the Necropolitan Apartments. I don't believe that they made the third one. So who knows, maybe one day we'll get something else in this universe. But other than that, like, you can watch Evolution over if you want, but you're not going to be lost. It's just this Necropolitan apartment complex is the only thing that kind of connects anything. So we'll get right into it. One of the highlights for me in this one was Lynn Lowry, who plays the mom, who is quite the psychotic bitch. She spends a lot of time in flashbacks torturing poor Jack. A lot of electrical torture and psychological stuff. She makes poor Jack watch. Lynn Lowry blows a guy in a chicken suit. And makes Jack watch. So that is a scene in this movie. Lynn is always fantastic, and it's nice when she has something, meaty that she can bite into. Tiffany Shepis is also in here as a cop. It is not a Tiffany Shepis movie, but always nice to see her. Also kind of proof of Tiffany was not cheap. I remember looking into possibly, like, can we afford her? And the answer was no. So again, definitely not a shoestring. Noel G is also in this movie. He was a very famous character actor.
He's the most famous Hector there is.
Yeah, Fast and the Furious and Training Day. God, lots of big movies. Dragged Across Concrete. He's one of the go-to Mexicans, even though, yeah.
Yes,
Noel Guglielmi is his name. So yeah, I tend to agree. This one's definitely more slick to be considered a shoestring. Very cool killer. That's one thing I will say about this one. Eric Peter Kaiser, who plays Jack Riley, kind of a very, like, quiet, broken, emo guy. And I don't say that in a negative way. I mean, he was very disturbing. I like the whole motive of putting your victims, these families that he's wiping out, into like a diorama, posing them in different, like, I thought that was a really cool thing. I like this movie a lot. I will say, when we get to the finale portion in the police station, which is very underpopulated for a police station, there's some really not great CGI with the kills. Not a big deal, because everything up to that point I thought was pretty good. He's a very brutal killer, so there's a lot to enjoy, and I had a lot of fun with it. But you get to the end, and I think they just didn't, they didn't have enough money and time to to
Yeah,
sort of go practical at the end.
I was unfortunate. Maybe they couldn't. They had to keep it clean or something. There's all other factors that we,
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, unfortunately, that it kind of loses me at that portion.
I figured it might like that. I remember watching this. I had the DVD, and when it came out, I that was kind of my memory of it. Was like it was really good to a point, and yeah, the finale, like it does kind of. It's unfortunate because maybe you should have just gone smaller with some of this, because there's one point where he comes in and obvious practical, it would have looked amazing. He just cuts the top of these two cops' heads off,
Yeah.
and the way it flies at the screen, I mean, again, that's about as bad as it gets for computer effects. But I'm still okay with it. I mean,
I still had a good time with it, but it does start, and then it's like, okay, I accept what it is what it is, but it does kind of pull you out of it, because up until that point we don't really have that.
And I feel like Kruger will kind of be similar on this one if he were on. The killer has this really cool sword sort of thing, like kind of like a machete sword, with where it's like a glove, so it's like attached to his arm. There was a lot of thought that went into the killer in this one. There's some side actors at times that are not as great, but we do get Bill Morrison, who is, I believe, the guitarist now for Billy Idol, and he pops up in here as one of the cops, which I thought was cool. Everybody's good. Lynn Lowry's kind of the highlight for me in this one, but
I agree.
Yeah, it's kind of, you just have to like set your expectations a little lower for the finale, because you could tell money probably ran low, time ran low. I think you could have gotten a little more out of Tiffany Shepis at the end there, but I still had fun. This one just, it doesn't fully realize its potential for me, but yeah. So Todd, what do you rate Basement Jack?
I'm gonna give it a 3. I do, it loses a little bit for the ending, but overall, I think it's an overall good time. So I'm gonna give it a 3. It's definitely above average for this time frame and budget level.
I'll go with 3 as well, because again, I think the killer is awesome. There's some really fun, really nasty kills at the beginning. It's just all up until that finale that it sort of declines a bit. And there are actually boobs in this one. I think I might have said earlier there wasn't boobs. There are some brief boobs in this. It's funny on the commentary. The director was kind of like, well, I didn't think it needed it, and like I didn't want to do it. I was like, boobs belong in slasher movies, Michael Shelton. Like, I'm sorry, man. Give us the boobs. I want the boobs in the modern slasher movies. They are still necessary, so I will push back on that. But
Dan, about 10 minutes ago on the show, you said they don't really need boobs.
If you're delivering, there are some cases where sure, I can. Maybe it doesn't present itself, but it wouldn't have hurt it either. So
I agree.
That shows how much I like Beware, because I can forgive the no boobs. But yeah, something like this, like maybe it would have worked better if he just came in and started cutting titties off in the shower or something. I don't know. You couldn't do the kills, like just let's have him chase around a bunch of naked girls in the finale. There you go, boom.
5 stars.
There you go. But more Tiffany Shepis on Blu-ray. That's always a good thing. I hope I hope we finally get the hazing from Ronan. I hope they work that out, because that is her crowning achievement, in my opinion. And yeah, maybe we'll get, a good one that TerraVision should look into is Bonnie and Clyde versus Dracula. I think that would be a really good release. Also one of Tiffany's better movies. Also Rolf Konevsky. So yeah, as a whole, I will say I'm eager to check out more of these
give us
Shoestring
volume 2.
slasher sets. I think they've already said there's going to be several volumes of this.
Okay.
So again, this one sold out quick, so I would say don't sleep on it too long for volume 2. Like, when it does come out, you may want to grab that one early. Is there anything off the top of your head, Todd, that you'd like to see them throw out there? There's a lot of stuff from the 2000s that I'd like to see get a different look, another look.
No, I like not knowing anything in the box. So hopefully it's another 3 I'm unfamiliar with.
So I think we probably both agree Beware is the biggest
winner.
winner in this one. And then I think it kind of just depends.
Yeah.
I mean, Basement Jack is obviously the somewhat higher budget. I don't know. I can't even compare them. Phantom Brothers, totally different. It's just going to depend whether it connects with you.
If I was rating them, I'd be Beware, Basement Jack, then Phantom Brother.
There you go. All right, guys. So we hope you've enjoyed this review. If you did, please leave a comment with your thoughts on the video. That helps the channel a lot. Like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. And yes, give us a thumbs up for actually reviewing these movies and not just showing the box, because
we did that too.
We are film fans first. We're not just physical media people. But also keep an eye out. I will have a new Hat Man drop in soon, and all that good stuff. So good night. We'll see you back here next time.
Money's on the dresser.